Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we'll be doing TBR prompts pick my August TBR. But before I open the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. So when it came to my July TBR, I have read one book off of that and I have started two that will definitely not be finished in time to say that I finished them in my July reading wrap up. But hey, I've decided this year we're not going to get like too hard on ourselves for not completing our TBRs just because the way the year's been going and sort of the job hunt and the random jobs and hours that I've been pulling, it makes this interesting, to see what I do get done reading wise. Plus, I am at my heart, I guess, just a mood reader. So really my TBRs are just my to be considered, as Madison Kate would be, like the hopefuls list. I did redo my bookshelves behind me. So, I don't know how much I like this. You may see them change again between now and then. But hey, queer books on top. I've got like, this is fantasy, this is contemporary romance, and then same thing down below because fantasy and contemporary / fantasy romance I read a lot. But if you've never been here before, I tried to pull 6 prompts out of my little Taylor Swift cup here. Some may be repeated from months before because I kind of just put the new prompts in with the old prompts that didn't get picked from last year, and I tried to pick 4 books off of my physical TBR and 2 books off of my Kindle TBR because both are relatively long. I haven't really been reading too much on my Kindle, so I don't know if that's just a personal preference thing right now. But I guess we'll see how that works out. I've also been in a graphic novel kick, so I don't know. But if you don't know anything about the month of August, I am a professor, an adjunct professor, so I tend to spend most of the month of August lesson planning. But outside of that, I don't usually have much other things to do, so I'll probably have a little more free time to read. But who knows? So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick out our prompts. All right, so prompt number 1 is a black cover. Okay. I've got a few black covers. That probably just means we picking up a fantasy or a thriller of some sort this next month. Then we have ends in an odd number of pages. Okay, well that kind of gives me a lot of like freedom with some of the books that I can pick. All right, then the next prompt is something that features royalty. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to have to find something with a royal family of some sort, a prince, a princess, something. I don't know. Actually, I have an idea of what book that could be. Oh, then we have a dystopian novel. Great. I have exactly in mind what that's going to be. That one is pretty easy given what my reading has been this year. Then we have a book with a white cover. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh. Okay, I've got options there. And then my last prompt is going to be, I've picked up 2. Let's do the first one that I see. A sapphic story. Oh, okay. I've actually dwindled through a lot of my sapphic reads on my physical TBR this year, which is great because I need to just read more sapphic stories because I haven't been reading a lot of them. I feel like I've read a lot of like men loving men stories. So yeah, so let's see how that shakes out. I also did redo my physical TBR, so it'll be in a different order. But I have been trying to clean and organize, so let's move over to my physical TBR. This is what my physical TBR looks like right now. It is the end of July today, so we're gonna try in the second half of the year to dwindle this as much as possible. So our first prompt that we picked was a book with a black cover. So coming up here, we obviously have The Hunger Games, which could also satisfy my dystopian read, you never know. Then we have 3 Dark Crowns. Belladonna, she's more purple than black, but we also have Caraval. And then and then The Black Girl Survives. This one, that's a short story collection. That could be nice. And then The ABCs of LGBT+. That one is a nonfiction. Okay, so I don't know if this is me going rogue. However, given, my reading for the past few months, I kind of wanted to pick this up nonfiction-wise. And I feel like to round out summer with one more, truly, pride book,
this one would be a good pick. So this is our first pick. She's also kind of rainbow because of that, but she's mostly black. My next 3 books, pretty easy pick out. The Killing Code is my one that ends at an odd number of pages. That is 373 pages. That one's also sapphic, but I think I'm going to search on my Kindle for something sapphic. Then for my dystopian, I'm going to pick Ignite Me, and then for my white book, I'm going to pick Restore Me, which comes after Ignite Me, just because I said in my mid-year freakout tag that my goal is to finish the Shatter Me series this year as well as the Poppy War series. So right now that's given me, the green light to actually finish Shatter Me or get closer to finishing Shatter Me. Plus, we're heading into fall season right after August. So, we needed some good spooky dystopian like fantastical things going on. So, I guess let's go over to my Kindle and pick out a book from there.
All right, so when it comes to books that feature royalty, what I have on here that I know for sure is we have Oathbound, obviously the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle. I am 27% of the way through, and I've been 27% of the way through for multiple months. This one obviously follows Bree. If you don't know anything, this is a reimagining of the King Arthur story, which obviously features royalty. Then we have The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. Now this would be helping me hit that goal of finishing the Poppy War before the end of the year. This one obviously features a Queen of Nicara. Then we have Glow of the Everflame by Pinksky. This is the 2nd book in the Spark of the Everflame series. I have been putting this book off. I don't know that I'm like super drawn to the book itself. And then I think those are all of my books that for sure on here feature royalty. I'm trying to think. I think in the name of finishing books and finishing series, we have to pick Oathbound. Because, it's been waiting on there for forever. All right, the next up is a sapphic story. So I don't think I have a sapphic story saved on here. So I might have to do some digging. Okay, so in my Kindle Unlimited recommendations, first thing that popped up was a sapphic small town romance. And I briefly read this, and all I saw was like firefighter, fire chief. And if anyone has been following me on my other channel, my Taylor Made Pop Culture channel, you would know that me and 911 right now, and 911 Lone Star, I've been very much so hung up on, the buddy situation on like gay firefighters. So I do fear I need to put this on here. It's called Where There's Smoke by Erica Alexander. And it basically says, the tagline is, where there's smoke, there's bound to be a fire. However, fire never smelled this good. Okay. I'm gonna add you to the reading list for the month. I love discovering like new things. So first book we picked, the book with a black cover, is The ABCs of LGBT+. This is obviously just a queer nonfiction. It's by Ashley Mardell. My goal is always to read about one nonfiction a month. Does that ever really happen? Not really. But hey, as long as I put it on the TBR, usually the nonfictions get read pretty quickly because they're usually short. And I like expanding my queer nonfiction selection. Then for my book that ends in an odd number of pages, we have The Killing Code by Ellie Marney. She is also the author of None Shall Sleep and Some Shall Break, which I spoke of earlier this year. The Killing Code is another historical thriller, and this one we're in 1943 following female codebreakers in World War II. But during this time, there's also a serial killer running around killing young women, and they are, getting together trying to figure out who the serial killer is to protect themselves. There's also probably a sapphic love story that takes place during this time. So I probably could have picked that for my sapphic story. You never know. Then for my dystopian, I picked up Ignite Me. This is the final book in the original trilogy of the Shatter Me series. So I'm excited to read this one and continue on. The Shatter Me series is a dystopian or YA dystopian novel that follows Juliet. She has the ability, as soon as she touches someone, she basically can kill them. Her touch is lethal and or deadly. And in this one, we're following her. She's been recruited by the reestablishment to basically be their weapon, but she's not happy about that. And then a little love triangle ensues. So I'm excited to see where Aaron Warner's growth continues from this, because I didn't see it in book 1, but book 2 really got me. So maybe this one will get me. And of course, she did continue on the series, extending that. And Restore Me is my book for my white cover pick. So hey, we're trying to finish off some series this month. Also, in the name of finishing off series, we have my book that features royalty, and that is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I've talked about this book ad nauseum. So I feel like most of y'all already know, in this book, in this series, we're following Bree, whose mother recently passed away, and she is spending the summer on UNC's campus for like an early college program. But while she's there, she encounters some kooky, mystical things, and she starts to think, hey, maybe my mom's death wasn't as cut and dry as I thought. So she ends up joining the Legendborn Society, which are all these young reincarnations of King Arthur or King Arthur's court, and she starts to learn a lot more about the mystical, magical realm, as well as her mother and her past. And obviously book 3, I think book 4 is supposed to be the conclusion, so book 3 I've not been as quick to finish because I'm like, well, then I gotta wait a while for book 4. But also when I started book 3, I immediately went into a major depression. So that's what happened. The book didn't send me into depression. It was just my annual birthday depression. And then my book for a sapphic story that we picked out is called Where's the Smoke by Erica Alexander. It says it's small town sapphic, and I in fact saw Fire Chief on there. So I'm assuming I'm going to get lesbian firefighters, and I do fear that is the vibe for right now. I don't know much else about that, but hey, at least Kindle Unlimited, she was recommending some good stuff so far. But those are all the books I picked for my August TBR. You just know that I probably won't stick to it entirely, given my history this year, but hey, we are sliding into fall, and I'm usually pretty good about sticking to my spooky TBR, so we'll see how that shakes out. Plus, I still got 2 books that I'm in the middle of to finish. Ah, well. Let me know what's on your August TBR. What are you most excited to pick up this next month? And I will see y'all in the next one.